Hi there, so we're on to grade 10's lesson 4 under the unit 1 person as a moral being. Start with the opening prayer. May the wisdom of the all compassionate one so shine within our hearts and minds this day that we may be enlightened in our acts, thoughts and deeds. So shall we learn to be true, good and happy and attain the spiritual peace. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. So lesson 4's title is Dignity, excuse me, my innate value. Sorry, I got a bit of a sore throat. Right, we're on page 33. Firstly, I'd like to ask a volunteer to share some insights that he or she gained from lesson 3. You can answer and submit those. I'd like to ask you students to list 3 things that come to your mind when you hear the term human dignity. 3 things that come to your mind when you hear the term human dignity. That's a mini performance task. 3 things. What might they be? It's a very important idea, or very important truth, you might say. Now, let me ask you how people are classified into categories, as well as give a description for each. So there's the categories like this: the rich, and what would be the description you would give? The poor, how would you describe roughly about poor people? Beautiful people, and then a description of those. And non-beautiful people, how are people classified and get described? And popular and non-popular. So there's 2 mini PTs that we've got there. Now please let me ask you if such categories influence how a person is treated. Please answer and submit. Now I'd like to solicit from you students your insights on how categorization blinds people from respecting the dignity of human beings. Can you give me your insights on that question? Now we're going to do your mini performance task. Here's the video. This is actually the 3rd one. Transform street children of the past into world-class chefs of the future.
There's so many children, I think more than 40%, who do not finish high school. So what will they do for a living? For a girl of 14, what is quick and easy money? For a boy of 15, 16, what is quick and easy money? Normally, it is illegal, it is vice, it is crime. These children have still a life to go. You create a multiplier effect. If you save these kids from becoming criminals, then you affect the life of their future families and society. So if we are able to reorient them while there is time, then the multiplier effect of avoiding evil and doing good is there.
When you are in the street, you see them disturbing you at the traffic light. You don't understand that, but when you live with them every day, then you realize it's really true. They cannot wait. We have to help them. When I started, I thought I will teach them something. Of course, I'll teach them culinary, but when it comes to life, they teach me more. then I can ever teach it.
Tuloy Foundation is my way to pursue my dream or to reach all my desires and goals in my life. I have no chance to continue my studies or because my parents are not able to send me in a formal school.
Kids from that sort of background, in getting help from Father Rocky to house them, love them, educate them, and hopefully give them some vocational training, they will be able to rise up and to live very productive and meaningful lives, albeit from very, very humble beginnings.
The children that I have seen at Tuloy Foundation, they normally come with a lot of will and energy, try to succeed, because for them it's really the only chance in life.
Those who seek for excellence would like to partner with a foundation that shoots for excellence. We're shooting for excellence. So we attract people that love to see things done very well or in an excellent manner.
Bilang ako as a Tuloy kid, dito naninirahan sa Tuloy. Ito lang po yung chance ko eh. Chance ko at chance nila para ipagpatuloy yung gusto naming maabot. Lahat naman po gagawin namin eh. Lahat ng kaya naming gawin para lang maabot yung pangarap namin. Mahirap maging mahirap, pero siguro kasi kailangan po talaga namin ng tulong, tsaka we are disciplined enough. Tapos makikita nyo naman po yung focus at motivation ng mga bata dito para lang maabot yung pangarap namin, yung pangarap din nila, pangarap ko, pangarap ng lahat ng bata dito. Nag-aaral ng mabuti, may disiplina sa sarili. Yung parang hindi kami nawawala ng pag-asa.
Okay, so a very moving documentary about that social care work, creating opportunities. So, please read the story of Father Rocky and read Tuloy sa Don Bosco on pages 33 and 34, but we're starting with the paragraph above and on page 33 there. Top of page 33. Have you seen any television commercials or ads on the internet lately? Advertisements are created to entice people to buy a certain product or avail themselves of the services of a company. Ads can be a source of relevant information for people who need those products or services. However, ads also mirror the value system of a society. Take, for example, the commercial for a skin whitening product. It highlights fair complexion as a quality of beauty. Shampoo commercials highlight beautiful women having long, black, straight, and shiny hair. While commercials for cars and houses or condominiums portray successful people driving the newest vehicles and living in luxurious living spaces. Reflecting upon such advertisements, we come to realize that our reality is socially constructed. Heavily influenced by a materialist, individualist perspective, we are led to believe that man's dignity rests upon his or her wealth, social status, popularity, educational attainment, or peer group. Unfortunately, this paradigm makes us blind or indifferent to the truth that every person, whether rich or poor, educated or uneducated, beautiful or common, living in exclusive subdivisions or the slums, are all part of the human race and have innate dignity. Thus, every person is worthy of respect and is significant. Let us look at the mission of Father Rocky Evangelista and Tuloi Sa Don Bosco to help us better understand better the concept of human dignity. Victories of Life, Tuloi Sa Don Bosco. In 1993, Father Marciano Rocky G. Evangelista, SDB, and 10 lay volunteers founded Tuloi Sa Don Bosco to serve poor, abandoned, and homeless children. Tuloi Foundation, Inc. is a non-government, not-for-profit organization licensed and accredited by the Department of Social Welfare and Development to provide residential care services for children and youth. Tuloi Sa Don Bosco began as a provider of residential care services for disadvantaged children. However, what makes Tuloi Sa Don Bosco unique is its commitment to the rehabilitation of a street child. This entails a comprehensive approach where attention is given to all aspects of a street child's development, so that he or she can be a well-rounded person and be reintegrated into the society. On to page 34. Residents of Tuloi Sa Don Bosco undergo a 6-phase program to ensure a gradual, balanced, and systematic approach for growth and development. They are motivation to inspire and encourage children to leave the streets permanently, humanization to teach basic human habits in personal hygiene, table manners, discipline, and orderliness. Direction setting to help street children cope with hurts, pains, and psychological traumas. Capacity building to prepare them for goal setting, suitability, and capability for academic and or vocational technology skills training. Pre-integration to prepare them for the world of work through on-the-job training, OJT, or apprenticeship. Reintegration to help them enter the world of work and resettlement. Aside from the long-term residential treatment of former street children, Tuloi Sa Don Bosco also offers counselling and referrals to other children through its patio program. Furthermore, since 1997, Tuloi Sa Don Bosco has been offering non-formal education. at Tuloi Sa Don Bosco Street Children Village, one can find 10 3.5-story residences for 300 children, a school and workshops for around 700 students, a gym, chapel, culinary centre, library and learning resource centre, music room, retreat and conference building, football field, offices and gardens. So in Flame, more often than not, we turn a blind eye to the poor and abandoned people in our society. Tuloi Sa Don Bosco dared to do what is unpopular and uncool from a materialist, individualist point of view. Father Rocky and volunteers of Tuloi Sa Don Bosco responded to the challenge of taking care of the least, the last, and the forgotten, and proved that anyone can be an instrument of positive change. Reflecting upon the work of Tuloi Sa Don Bosco, we realize that helping our fellow human beings is not about having a return on our investments, one-time service engagements, or dole-outs. To serve our fellow human beings is our responsibility. We are all called to extend a helping hand to our fellow human beings who are wallowing in poverty. Indeed, each and every person is unique, has dignity and self-worth, regardless of wealth, social status, popularity, educational attainment, or peer group. So then, to process that important story, firstly, I'd like to ask you students the following questions. So 1, what is the story all about? What is the story all about? What would you say? There's some guide points. Answer in your own way, but the gist is that the story is about Father Marciano Rocky G. Evangelista, SDB, and volunteers who serve the poor, abandoned and homeless children. Okay, second question. How did Father Rocky and the Tuloi Sa Don Bosco Foundation promote the human dignity of the poor? How did they do that? How did they promote the human dignity of the poor? Here's some guides. Father Rocky and the Tuloi Sa Don Bosco Foundation provided a comprehensive approach where attention is given to all aspects of a street child's development so that he or she can be a well-rounded individual and be reintegrated to the society. Third question. What is the lesson of the story? What is the lesson of the story? What do you think? What did you learn from this lesson of that story? Put your ideas together and submit them. So I'd like to explain to you students that all men, all people, men and women, have dignity, and poverty is never a reason to strip anyone of his or her innate value. Okay? That's just a guideline. You can answer in your own way. Fourth question, how can you relate the story to your own life? How can you relate the story to your own life? Your answers may vary, but however, please highlight that all of us are called to help the poor, abandoned, and homeless children. I'd like to explain to you, students, that all men have dignity, and poverty is never a reason to strip anyone of his or her innate value. To repeat that point. Okay, so I'd like now to ask students to answer the points for reflection on page 35. Moving on. Firstly, there is a saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and you will feed him for a lifetime. Do you think the mission and work of Tuloy Don Bosco will work in the country? Explain what you mean. Okay. Secondly, while Tuloy Don Bosco exerts its best efforts to help change the lives of street children, it must be mentioned too that success is a two-way street. This means that the street child must be open and willing to change. Why is it important for a young person to be humble and determined to change his ways if he or she desires a better life? Answer and submit. Thirdly, aside from donating money and spending your free time for volunteer work, how can you help the cause of charitable institutions? Cite a specific example. Rediscover. So here we are at the bottom of page 35. Dignity, an innate value. By definition, innate means existing in, belonging to, or determined by factors present in an individual from birth, and belonging to the essential nature of something. Hence, when we claim that dignity is an innate value, we are saying that all human beings are worthy of respect, are worthy of honor and respect. This is a very important concept, especially when materialist, individualist perspectives distort notions about human dignity, self-worth, and freedom. Human dignity as an innate value allows us to realize that every human being should not be deprived of his or her dignity and humanity in the pursuit of self-interested material wealth. The church document Gaudium et Spes, meaning hope and joy, states, whatever insults human dignity, such as subhuman living conditions, arbitrary imprisonment, deportation, slavery, prostitution, the selling of women and children, as well as disgraceful working conditions where people are treated as mere tools for profit rather than as free and responsible persons. All these things and others of their like are infamies indeed. They poison human society, but they do more harm to those who practice them than those who suffer from the injury. On page 36 now. When we appreciate human dignity as an innate value, we see the wrongfulness of decisions and actions that oppress the poor, disrespect people that are unpopular or considered non-beautiful, ostracize people, that is, shut them out, ostracize people who are physically and mentally challenged, or take advantage of people belonging to indigenous groups. Dr. Kim Tan, the former chairman of Jubilee Action, a UK-based human rights organisation working with street children in India, Africa, Philippines and Brazil, tells us how the poor value their dignity. He explains, I think what the poor want is a hand that helps them to have a sense of dignity and independence. They want to be able to put food on their own table by themselves through their own effort. That is a part of the human aspiration. In the Philippines, there are almost 1 million persons with disability, PWDs. Sadly, the PWD sector is considered as the most marginalized and economically disadvantaged group. Undeniably, their impairment makes them vulnerable to different social and economic barriers and prone to discrimination. As human beings, people who are physically or mentally challenged are also worthy of our respect and should be given opportunities to become productive citizens. The founder of Lamolian Corporation and the creator of Happy toothpaste, Dr. Cecilio K. Pedro, employs hearing-impaired people in his company and provides them with wage and benefits just like other employees who have no impairment. To narrow the communication gap between the hearing and the non-hearing employees, Lamolian provides free basic sign language training for all employees. Dr. Pedro has shown us that every person, whether physically challenged or not, can pursue self-determination, be respected, and gain self-worth if given the opportunity. Furthermore, when we adhere to the truth that all human beings have dignity, we also go against decisions and actions that terminate a conceived life or pull the plug on those who are terminally ill. Okay, mini performance task. Below are some beliefs and values that you may hold consciously or unconsciously. Read each carefully and put a check mark in the appropriate column to indicate the way you feel about it. Firstly, column, the beliefs and values. And the other columns, whether you strongly agree or strongly disagree, or in the middle. So first, for example, all human persons have dignity. You strongly agree moderately, not exactly sure, you disagree moderately, or you strongly disagree. 2, one needs to be wealthy and popular to be disrespected. Sorry, one needs to be wealthy and popular to be respected. 3, the poor are miserable because they lack work ethic. 4, differently abled people have the same rights and duties as everybody else. 5, an inclusive community accepts every human person regardless of race, financial status, religion, or political affiliation. Okay, based from the lesson, were your beliefs reinforced or were they changed? Can you explain? Valuing a virtue, reverence for life. We have established the truth that all human beings have dignity and have discussed reasons how human dignity is separated from accidents like wealth, social status, popularity, educational attainment, or peer group. What about an unborn child or those who are terminally ill? Do they have dignity too? The Nobel Peace Prize laureate, Dr. Albert Schweitzer, speaks of reverence for life as the fundamental principle of morality, namely that good consists in maintaining, assisting, and enhancing life, and to destroy, to harm, or to hinder life is evil. With this in mind, we come to realize that our decisions and actions must always support life. As a response to the question why abortion is evil, we say, since living beings come into existence all at once and gradually unfold their world of innate potential, we believe that life starts at the moment of conception. And I should put a caveat note herein, as a Buddhist monk reading this, that is not the belief the Buddha advocates because of previous past life karma. Okay, so that is basically saying that life starts at the moment of conception, whereas that is true to an extent that obviously the physical life starts there, that in Buddhism a life being born has had previous history, and that is going together with that as well. Okay. On to page 38. Even though only a cell, a conceived life, regardless of the accidents of size or weight, carry the essence of a human being. Furthermore, the unborn baby has a distinct, unchanging, and unrepeatable genetic code, unique in all of its history, from the moment of conception until death. So yeah, again, the science of this is they're basically putting forward a principle and a very important idea. Whether the science is exact, I'm not committed to saying so. I'm talking about the unchanging genetic code and whether it's repeatable or not. And there has been some science, I seem to recall, where the code can be changed. For example, certain activities improve the genetic code. Otherwise, it would be fate and destiny too much. So, thus we revere and protect life and firmly stand against abortion, and that's in harmony with Buddhism. The terminally ill, or those who are dying from sickness, as well as the old and frail, have dignity too. We are all called to ease their suffering and have them enjoy their remaining time with us by taking care of them and trying our best to make them feel that they are loved and valued. Again, we stress that dignity is innate. Thus, sickness, weakness, or age cannot diminish a person's right to be treated well and respected. Okay, so that's the end of that article. I looked up the meaning of the word dignity in the dictionary, so let's look at the meaning of dignity. The dictionary gives the state or quality of being worthy of honor or respect. And in the book, Trivia, the word dignity comes from Latin word dignitas, meaning worthy. Hence, if all human beings have dignity, then that means that everyone is worthy of respect. So, page 38, uplifting realizations. There are many ways to uphold and protect human dignity at home, in school, and in our community. Some of these are: at home, allow your younger siblings to make decisions for themselves. They need to practice making judgment calls too and decide the best course of action for a given situation. However, listen to them when they are explaining the basis for their decisions and actions. Talk to them so they can also see the perspective of someone who is older. Discuss the concept of human dignity as an innate value to your family members. Show love and concern for your grandparents. In school, respect the unique identity of your classmates. Include students with special needs or those who are differently abled in your project or schoolwork. Resist the temptation to stereotype students. Make a stand against those who discriminate against the poor or people with special needs. In the community, actively participate in youth organizations that promote solidarity and an inclusive community. Support activities that uphold the well-being of old people. Question: students, how can you motivate others to promote human dignity? Also, I'd like to ask some volunteers to share examples of actions that protect human dignity. Students, how can you share how to practice reverence for life? And now answer the points to ponder on page 39. The poor do not need dole-outs, but opportunities to become better. Do you agree with this statement? Why or why not? Two, the poor, sorry, that's a double. It just says that it points out that it's actually a mini PT. Okay, it's a duplicate one there. Two, can you think of activities in school that can promote mutual respect and understanding among students? Thirdly, how can youth leaders in the community promote the human dignity of physically and mentally challenged youth. And then we're on to the engagement summative test. Read the following statements and write true if it is correct and false if otherwise. 1. It is wrong to terminate a conceived life or pull the plug on those who are terminally ill, because all human beings have dignity. 2. To be independent and live a life with a sense of purpose is a human aspiration. 3. The impairment of persons with disabilities makes them vulnerable from abuse and oppression due to social and economic factors. 4. The poor are lazy and constantly on the lookout for dole-outs. 5. The unborn, terminally ill and very old have human dignity. 6. Human dignity is an innate value. 7. Materialist individualist perspectives distort our notions of human dignity, worth, and freedom. 8. All human beings are worthy of honor and respect. 9. Our decisions and actions must always be in the support of life. True or false? 10. Every human being should not be deprived of his or her dignity and humanity in the pursuit of material wealth. So let me encourage all of you students to complete the activity on page 40. So here we have this one. This probably ought to have, a mini performance task. Despite the many instances wherein human dignity is being trampled on, there are also many organizations that continue to uphold and protect human dignity. 1. Research organizations, and 2. Create a poster that highlights their mission. Encourage people to support their cause. Okay, so go look on the internet for organizations that have a good cause, they have a mission, and it's compassion-based, helping the needy, helping the poor, helping those in disaster areas, some kind of organization that is doing charitable cause work, and create a poster that highlights their mission and in it encourage people to support their cause. And then share your poster to the class, so you can do that on the GC, and 2, seek permission to post all your work in highly visible areas in the school. Okay, so we can maybe laminate them, print them off. If you send them to me, maybe I can get that done. I have a laminator and I've got a printer, so we can print them off and I can pass them to you, and you can take some sticky tack and put them up somewhere good where a lot of people will see it. So now let's move on with the situational analysis, page 40. Situation 1, your classmate asked you about your view on abortion. In your conversation, it seems that she is in favor of abortion. She admitted that she has another friend who is in a difficult and scary situation at the moment. Using the lesson on human dignity, what can you do to enlighten your classmate and her friend? Okay, so we've got possible solution 1, possible solution 2, and the best solution. Answer and submit. So answers should be in your own style, but a guideline may be along these lines. Case 1, all human beings, including the unborn, the terminally ill, the old, and the dying, have human dignity and must be accorded with the same reverence for life as everybody else. And then situational analysis 2. Your friend shared that her father is now under life support of the hospital. Her mother is considering pulling the plug because the doctor's prognosis is not encouraging. Also, they have very little money left. Using the lesson on human dignity, what can you do to comfort and help your friend? There we go. So in your own words, but along these lines, with case 2, dignity is an innate value. It means that all human beings are worthy of honour and respect. Okay, so there we have the performance task. Scaffolding for the performance task. Research a particular indigenous group in the Philippines. Determine their quality of life and economic status. Create a concept map about human dignity as an innate value. Include how the concept of human dignity can shed light on responding to the oppression experienced by some indigenous groups. Okay, indigenous groups, do some research, determine their quality of life, their economic status, and then a concept map about human dignity and how the concept of human dignity can shed light on responding to the oppression experienced by those indigenous groups. Got that? Okay, so 3 points, high quality, appealing, skillfully done. 1 point, less appealing, unskillfully done. Achieves the objectives successfully, convincingly, or on the other side, doesn't. Let's have a look at the summary. Every person is unique, has dignity and self-worth regardless of wealth, social status, popularity, educational attainment, or peer group. Dignity is an innate value. It means that all human beings are worthy of honor and respect. All human beings, including the unborn, the terminally ill, the old and dying, have human dignity and must be treated with honor and respect. And then closing quote from Father Rocky Evangelista STB. Build the right climate, provide the right environment. Do things professionally should be. Bring in the committed experts. Celebrate victories and reward best efforts. Stay for as long as you are happy. Be a loving presence among the children. Father Rocky Evangelista STB. There we have it. Let's do the closing prayer. Reverently do we pray to Thee, the Holy and Perfect One. We earnestly resolve to understand Thy teaching and to daily tread Thy path. So shall, like Thee, we may attain the peace of Nirvana. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. Okay, everyone, take those lessons to heart and then go in peace.